Crafts Council of India is a non-statutory body, not-for-profit body, which is committed towards raising awareness towards various forms of crafts. The founder of it is a lady who is very renowned, born in a Saraswat family, Saraswat Brahmin family, Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay. Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay, who was also a very prominent freedom fighter and later turned into a social activist and a renowned global feminist. She is known to be very active in the field of raising awareness towards various crafts. It is believed that Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay was inspired by the thought process of Rabindranath Tagore and Gandhiji, who believed that crafts or culture, these cultural tools, these crafts, they are a way or they are a catalyst to bring political and social emancipation of those sections who are underrepresented, whose voices are generally ignored in the mainstream discourse. So we find that in India, the endeavor towards furthering, towards promoting these folk regional culture is also to give a voice, to give an awareness and a distinct identity to these people who in their personal capacity have maintained these crafts through generation. So we find that the headquarters of CCI, Craft Councils of India, is in Chennai and it works in sync with 9 state councils. And the basic idea, the most important aim is to safeguard the interests of craftsmen. So as I've been saying that a question is highly probable that folk art is in a dying state and what should be the steps ahead? What should be the steps ahead to further, to increase the participation, to increase the interest of the people in these fields. So we find that the CCI is a very important, it is a very important organization which is taking incremental but substantial steps towards the promotion of interest and raising awareness of these regional crafts pattern. So it is not only a domestic sphere, it is also affiliated to the World's Craft Council. So if we talk about the aims, objectives and activities, the idea is to safeguard the interests of the craftsmen and to preserve their craft traditions by giving them all types of support, financial support, marketing support, training support. And over the years, they have established shops. Shops you find, if you happen to go from Bangalore to Kurg, you will find numerous shops selling toys, wooden toys made by these craftsmen. So that display art and crafts patronized by Craft Council of India, named after Kamla, the founder of Craft Council. And one of their current objective is to find innovative way. So innovation is the key because now traditional means of marketing, traditional means of production also will no longer be able to cope up with the highly digitized means and marketed form of products pouring in India from outside. So here there is a need to blend ancient handicraft techniques with contemporary ideas and demands. Recently, Prime Minister Modi had spoken about Channapatna toys. He had said that India is one of those nations with a significant population of kids. Despite this fact, in India, about 75% of toys, the demand for toy is fulfilled by China. And India, which also has its tradition of toys, toy making, these crafts right from Indus Valley civilization. So in Indus Valley civilization, we had numerous craft goods of terracotta, of statite and few of bronze as well. So despite this tradition, India has contributed less than 1%, only 0.8% to the global toy trade. So because of which, taking the example of Channapatna toys of Karnataka, the Prime Minister had voiced concern and had spoken about Atmanirbhar Bharat. So there is a need to take initiatives towards the development, towards the increasing the demand for these local craft goods, and toy present a unique segment of that. Towards this, the government of India has come out with certain steps. One is the launch of Toycathon. Toycathon is more like a platform, a digital platform for brainstorming. A digital platform where students, teachers, craftsmen, all of them will come together, brainstorm ideas to develop new means to market the goods and also to bring about incremental improvement in the production of these toys. When we talk about the Indian crafts, what makes them specially very valuable is the use of natural dyes in coloring instead of artificial color, which is harmful for the children. So because of this, the Toycathon is promising to be a very important initiative. The government in its recently published last year National Education Policy, in the National Education Policy 2020, it also has come out with a proposal to encourage toy making as a part of the curriculum. So toy making could be a part of the curriculum of the students, especially those who develop an inclination towards this craft. So as Gandhiji, as Rabindranath Tagore, they believed that a complete education, even we find Western thinkers also, Rousseau also in his book, Emile, he has also said that complete education is not what is found in textbooks, but something which is internalized through activity. So Gandhiji had propounded, Gandhiji had presented his Vardha scheme. Similarly, Rabindranath Tagore also in his Shanti Niketan had spoken about learning through activity. So probably this was the thought that inspired Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay to set up Crafts Council of India. So we find that definitely a lot is being done, a lot has to be done in this field. So it is the main body behind organizing All India Crafts Fair. So last year, because of COVID, this was for the first time held online. So it was in news. The Department of Culture and its zonal cultural centers are responsible for organizing crafts fair. So they are organizing craft fair in the respective areas. They are also responsible for organizing cultural events, especially during the Republic Day parade. We find that numerous craftsmen, they are also represented by under the banner of Crafts Council of India. They are responsible to ensure that the unique artistic tradition of various parts of India are represented on globally recognized platforms. So they are organizing cultural events, seminars, establishing shops, and wherever possible, they are trying to establish a link with the global institutions. Indira Gandhi National Center for Arts, the brainchild of Rajiv Gandhi to revive the memory of the former Prime Minister, who was also very much inclined towards the development of these art forms. So Indira Gandhi National Center for Arts, which was launched in 1985, exactly a year after the assassination of Indira Gandhi, and it is governed by a trust which was later established in 1987. So because it is a trust, it has a board of trustees headed by a chairman, and it is an autonomous institution in which there is no government interference. It concentrates on research, conservation, and display and dissemination of arts. So we have to focus on the research aspect, that something that differentiates it from the different bodies. It has 6 functional units. Kala Nidhi, which is a multi-form library. Kala Kosh, which is the study and publication of fundamental texts in Indian language. Then we have Janpad Sampada, engaged in lifestyle studies. Cultural informatics, which applies to technology tools for cultural preservation. Sutradhar, administrative section, and Kala Darshan, which is the executive unit, which organizes exhibitions. So we have all these units ranging from administration to basic study of texts. All India Radio. Now, we know that radio, what differentiates radio from all other institutions is the deep community reach. We often hear that community radio is very popular even today in this age of smartphones. We find that the community radio has been seen as one of the very important tools to bring about inclusivity with respect to many of the government programs. Even today, we find that the programs of Vivid Bharati, the discussions, the analysis of All India Radio stands class apart from all the available sources here. Even during the British time, radio was used as a means to spread message, and we often hear of the Congress radio, which, in the absence of the regular leadership of Indian National Congress during the Quit India movement and was run by Usha Mehta, had played a very important role in keeping up the morale of the people. So Congress radio is one such very important thing. Speaking of All India Radio, it is not completely an autonomous organization. It functions under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, governed by the Prasar Bharati Act amended in 1990. Hence, it is a statutory body. And its motto is Bahujan Hitye, Bahujan Sukhay, means the welfare of everyone. It has a number of stations and it covers 92% of the population. So we know that radio is something that will help you to connect with the rural and the far-flung sections of the society. And also it is a means to preserve and to promote dissemination of information in regional languages. And not only regional languages, but even in a language, multiple dialects. So radio is a very important tool. It has emerged as a very important tool for the preservation of linguistic culture, for the preservation of distinct language and dialect of a particular region. Nehru Memorial Museum and Library. Jawaharlal Nehru, who had a taste for preserving the ancient Indian knowledge, who himself had written a number of important textbooks, such as Glimpses of World History, such as The Discovery of India. So it was very natural that an organization dedicated towards the study and preservation of ancient knowledge be named after him. So built in around 1929-30 and called as the Teen Murti Bhavan, as it was the residence of the British Commander-in-Chief and later became the official residence of Prime Minister. Jawaharlal Nehru lived here for 16 years and after his death, it was converted into a museum and library. So an exclusive library was established here in 1964. CCERT, Center for Cultural Resources and Training. We often hear of CCERT sources as a very important alternative to the textbooks for our UPSC preparation. So it is important for you to also know about CCERT. CCERT was established in 1979 because of the efforts of again Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay and Kapil Vatsyayan. And the idea was to link education with culture. So the idea was to provide cultural education so that there is an awareness of culture of the past. Generally, even in UPSC, we find that before the introduction of the new pattern, awareness of Indian culture, even among the history students, was very less. So now culture is being focused upon because culture is a reflection of the existing socio-economic conditions. So we find that cultural education is very much promoted. The headquarters is in Dwarka, New Delhi. It promotes innovative teaching methodologies which help students to grasp the concept of culture. And it also provides scholarship, conducts workshop and conferences towards the promotion of cultural education. National Archive of India. Now, definitely from the name itself, we can figure out that the National Archive of India, the National Archive of India is a dedicated organization which has preserved, had made distinct efforts towards the preservation of ancient and medieval manuscripts. So it was the vision of the British civil auditor Sandeman, who wanted a grand central archive to protect valuable documents, which led to the foundation of National Archives of India. It was initially known as the Imperial Records Department. So, as I have said, that the British were very much, there was a segment of Britishers who were very much interested in studying ancient culture, ancient language, and ancient texts. So, these were Orientalists who wanted to understand India better, to rule India better. Then emerged a class of scholars and intellectuals who wanted to study the changes in Indian language. They were known as philologists. They were known as philologists. Philology is the study of language. So they studied first Sanskrit, then Brahmi, and then the medieval texts. So they were very interested, the Orientalists, the philologists, and then there was comparative philology. Comparative philology is the comparative study of the root languages in the West, that is Latin and Sanskrit, which is believed to be the root language in India. So we have comparative philology. This was done. Max Muller was a student of comparative philology. It was established because of the efforts of G.W. Forrest in Calcutta in 1891. So again, we find that these bodies were found right before the independence, long before the independence, because the Britishers, Orientalists, philologists, they were interested in studying the Indian language, in studying the Indian culture. Later, it shifted to Delhi. From Calcutta, it shifted to Delhi, and after the independence, it was named as the National Archives of India. And it was opened to the public for research in 1939. There is a conservation research library which is established in 1940. Indian Councils for Cultural Relations. Indian Councils for Cultural Relations, established by the Ministry of Culture in 1950 due to the efforts of the first education minister, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. And he wanted people to understand India's external cultural relations. So it was deeply rooted in India's external cultural relations. And we have in recent times the Project Mausam. So Project Mausam, in which Prime Minister Modi has spoken about the need to revive relations with many of the nations of the past with whom we had mainly trade and some cultural relations. Right from the time of Indus Valley civilization, when India had extensive trade relations with the West, Mesopotamia, then to the later times when we had relations with Roman world, with Egypt, then with China, with Southeast Asia. So now the interest has been revived and focus is on shifting the diplomacy from track 1 to track 2 diplomacy, cultural contact, people to people contact. Now Project Mausam is talking about exploring the possibility of having trade relations with those nations who were a part of the Arabian Sea trade. And many believe that Project Mausam is India's reply to OBOR. So we also want to have not only cultural relations, revive the trade relations, but develop it into full-fledged strategic relations. This is a reply to China's string of pearls. It is a reply to China's string of pearls, to China's OBOR. So we are also trying to exhibit. Now we hear of Buddhist or Buddha's diplomacy. So even with China, which is generally seen as a nation with whom we don't have very sound relations of late, efforts have been made to have relations or diplomatic relations on the basis of the ancient Buddhist link in the past, when many of the Chinese scholars, intellectuals and monks came to India to study Buddhist texts, and they carried also many of these Buddhist texts. So India believes India is a practitioner of soft power diplomacy, and in light of that, the role of Indian Councils of Cultural Relation is very important. And they also provide grants for cultural performance and promotes international friendship and cultural exchange. So here we are talking about track 2 diplomacy. We are talking about track to diplomacy. Indian Councils of Historical Research, as an autonomous body, promotes and preserves the history of India. It has become the largest platform for historians to come together, discuss new views. So we find that major historiography or historical debates have emerged out of this important forum. It grants fellowship also to prominent historians and enables them to publish their journals in English and Hindi. So, Indian Historical Review and Itihas, respectively. Directorate of Film Festivals. Now, cinema is no longer seen as only a means of entertainment. Cinema, as Satyajit Ray had famously said, was a reflection of the contemporary society. Cinema is also a reflection of the evolving taste, evolving outlook of the community it wishes to serve. And cinema also, to an extent, is a reflection of the past and also with an eye on the aspirations for the future. Cinema provides ample scope for creativity in marketing, in performance, in direction, in every ways. So in one line, we can say that film are a complete package of different forms of art. Whenever a movie is made, you see local craft goods in the form of clothing, food, monuments. You have art, architecture. You have dance performance. You have music. So it is a complete package, because of which the government of India has paid a lot of attention on promoting the making of, on the production of a number of these important thought-provoking movies. Hence, the film festivals are organized. Film festivals are also an occasion to celebrate, to honor and to recognize distinguished contributions of individuals and organizations. In fact, the cinema is also emerging as a major means to disseminate one's own culture in far-off land. It is a common knowledge that when the movie Dangal was released, it not only did well in India, but its collections were far beyond Indian collections in China. So people appreciated the subtle message of women empowerment that was portrayed in Dangal. Lagan, which was about a cricket match, also received acclamation, and then the Slumdog Millionaire movie. So we find that cinema connects not only the people with their immediate surrounding, but people in far across land. And in this light, the role of film festivals are becoming more and more important. We hear of Cannes Film Festival, we hear of Berlin Film Festival, we hear of Paris Film Festival. So these film festivals also organized in India to recognize the regional film making tradition. So these are a very important occasion to celebrate, to commemorate the distinct regional cultures. The Directorate of Film Festival, it was set up with the purpose of organizing national and international film festivals in India, and so that Indian films get their due recognition at international platforms. And through recognition, it was not only about glory, it was not about honor, but it was about presenting, it was about popularizing, broadcasting the Indian culture in different parts of the world. And with the efforts of this directorate, many foreign films are dubbed and shown in India. So we find that now we are also fond of many of the Japanese movie, we are fond of German movie, French movie, Korean movie. So the idea is to connect people with the help of films. And the directorate has also been given the additional charge to organize the National Film Award functions. So national awards are granted on the basis of recommendations of Directorate of Film Festivals. National Mission for Manuscripts. National Mission for Manuscripts, the purpose is to create a national electronic database, because these manuscripts, they are in a wear and tear state. Even after preservation, there is a threat that after a few centuries they might lose their original texture. And now the database which has been created has more than 1 million manuscripts, making it the largest database of Indian manuscripts in the world. and it is all actively involved in collection, cataloging, and digitization of these data. Indian National Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage. It is a non-profit NGO based in Delhi, established in 1984, and the primary idea was to spread awareness regarding our heritage and taking steps to conserve it. Heritage is something that we have inherited. It can be a monument, it can be a food style, it can be a dance form. So it is something that we have inherited from our ancestors, and it has various branches known as chapters. So more than 170 branches are there. It also organizes heritage walks when people from across India and all over the world, they take a tour pan India through these heritage sites. So the United Kingdom and Indian National Heritage Trust was established in 1987. In 2007, the United Nations awarded INTAC a special consultative status with the United Nations Economic and Social Council. Sahitya Kala Academy. Now, from the name, it is the topmost body recognizing development in the field of literature. So we find that the highest awards, literary awards in India in various languages, are given on the basis of recommendations of the Sahitya Academy. So the Sahitya Academy, or the National Academy of Letters, established in 1954, was to promote literary culture in India and to ensure coordination of all Indian languages to promote Indian unity, to promote national unity. It is an autonomous organization which undertakes literary activities in 24 Indian languages, which apart from the 22 languages which are mentioned in the constitution, it also recognizes English and Rajasthani. So some of the awards which are given on the basis of recommendation of the Sahitya Academy: Bhasha Samman for significant contribution in languages not recognized by Academy; Dr. Anand Kumar Swamy for those who have worked in the field of arts, especially in ancient India; Premchand for those who have contributed to Hindi literature. Sangeet Natak Academy is the topmost body concerned with recognition of performing arts. So it was the first academy set up for arts by the government of India in 1953, inaugurated by the first president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, to create a platform for music, drama, and dances. So we know that the classical dances in India are to be recognized by the Sangeet Natak Academy. It strives to promote intangible heritage of India, such as music. You cannot see music, but you can hear. So they also administer the National School of Drama, which was set up later in 1959. And it collaborates with international organizations such as UNESCO to protect the cultural heritage. So you should just remember that it is a topmost, it is the apex body for recognition, promotion of the performing arts, various forms of performing arts. National School of Drama is one of the foremost theatre training institution and the only one of its kind set up by the Sangeet Natak Academy in 1959. So we often hear of prominent Bollywood actors and various regional actors coming out of the National School of Drama. So this school of drama has churned out over the years prominent artists, and we have found that in 1975 it became an independent entity out of the Sangeet Natak Academy, and it is registered as an autonomous organization under the Societies Registration Act 1860. The publication unit of National School of Drama is responsible for publishing textbooks on theatre, arranging for the translation of important books on theatre from English to Hindi, and bringing out their importance. So not only it is about performance, but it is also about promoting a literary tradition in performance art. Lalit Kala Academy. The Lalit Kala Academy, or the National Academy for Art, set up in 1954, promotes fine arts such as painting, such as folk paintings, classical paintings, and it is fully financed by the Ministry of Culture, an autonomous body centered in Delhi and having regional centers at Chennai, Lucknow, Kolkata, Shimla, Shillong, and Bhubaneswar. So it brings out national exhibitions of art from time to time. Geographical indication. We often hear of new products such as the Pokhali rice of Kerala, which is very much in news because it is a unique variety of salt resistant underwater rice which can help states like Bengal and Odisha, which are facing frequent floods, especially in Sundarban and the coastal belt of Odisha, cope up for the loss of cultivation. We hear of Kanchipuram sarees, Darjeeling tea. So when we say such terms, Kashmiri saffron, it means that it geographical indication. It simply means it is given by the geographical indication registry is stationed in Chennai. It means that if a project enjoys or it has been given a geographical indication, then the same product cannot be sold outside the territory or it cannot be sold in within the territory in some other name. For example, Darjeeling tea. The tea variety, which is the tea leaf variety, unique variety found in Darjeeling. So, if anybody else starts in plantation farm in Darjeeling and starts selling it with other name, that will not be allowed. Similarly, if there is a new textile company which is based in Kanchipuram and does everything exactly like the Kanchipuram weavers, they cannot sell it in any other name. So the idea of giving geographical indication was to preserve the local, regional identity and the traditional art form or the craft forms. So that was the idea. That was the idea. So it means that a particular item that has originated from a particular region only. So even if somebody, say in Karnataka, has been able to grow a tea variety exactly like the same of Darjeeling, he cannot sell it in the name of Darjeeling tea. So that is the idea, and it is like an intellectual property right. So in total, many items. For you, it is important that keep a track of those items which have been given GI tag in the last 12 to 14 months for your prelims examination. For example, the Tirupati Laddu. It is not that the Laddu cannot be made anywhere else, but you cannot sell the Laddu in the name of Tirupati Laddu outside Tirupati. So we have various categories of products in which GI status has been awarded. Agricultural products, Pokhali rice, manufactured product, we have Chettapanna toys, we have natural products, handicrafts. So we have many of them, and food items, clothing, textile, handmade, carpets, sweets. So it is an exhaustive list. It is an exhaustive list which gives us an idea that how rich and pluralistic our culture is. So for a product to get GI tag, it needs to be produced in that region only. So the idea is to promote regional identity. And it should have a special quality and reputation. So it is not that in Kanchipuram you make any sari and sell it in the name of Kanchipuram sari. So with GI tag, definitely the cost goes higher. But that is only based on the special quality and reputation. So you can see different GI tags which have been granted. The Kashmiri saffron, which are grown in the Pampore Pulwana region. So Kashmiri saffron is grown on a particular type of soil known as Karevas. So it is believed that earlier Kareva soil, Pampore Palwana region, Pampore Pulwana region, it is grown. So it is believed that earlier Jhelum was then when there was a lake, but later Jhelum, it found a way around the hills and the lake dried the water, and what remained was the soil, and this soil is conducive for saffron. Saffron has health benefits. Saffron is used as a spice also. So very, very costly thing. We have haldi in Odisha, Kandhamal haldi in Odisha. It is also having a medicinal value. Gulbarg tur dal, this piece of lentil was known for its high nitrogen value. Then we have Kodaikanal Malai Pondu, Tirur betel leaf for making pan, Khola chili, chili in Goa, a special type of chili. Kaji, Nimu. So you can just go through all these names. Maram, we have in Mizoram, we have Tol Fuhan. Pardon me if I got the pronunciation wrong. So all these types of multiple names of these GI tags are there. Kandigri sari, Kandangni sari. We have Idu Mishmi textile, Manipuli black rice. We have Rasgulla. So there was a very interesting incident that Rasgulla was something that the Bengalis claimed was always their own. But Odisha was successful in bringing about a variation in the way it is manufactured and have got a Odisha Rasgulla.